Okay, hello. So I'm gonna talk about this briefly. I titled it "Don't Play the Game," and it's because I just happened to see somebody post something else on YouTube. Somebody I'm subscribed to posted, "The way to win with toxic people is not to play the game." And I want to specifically talk about that with this black sector of YouTube, which I have pretty much stopped watching, but I still do see their video titles in my recommendation box. For example, the lady I've been talking about who made this video about this black woman who was killed by a white guy, I guess it's the tragedy of TT or something, has over 200,000 views. So this video is definitely getting pushed. But what I want to say is, I want to start off with an example, right? Of how the black people get online and will fuss about white supremacy all the time and call them crackers and call them cave beasts and all kind of names. As white people just still seem to go on with their lives. They kind of seem unbothered. They still live and a lot of these people that have gone online to fuss like that, black people who have gone online to fuss about white people like that and call them names, a lot of them have lost employment opportunities. I mean, a lot of them have. And so white people have gotten the last laugh. They didn't get on there and fuss. Now, it's not to say that some of them don't get in the comment sections and, argue back and forth with these people. But for the most part, I really didn't see white people really start getting tired of black people until Black Lives Matter. And then that's when you had the Colin Flaherty's and other channels exposing black violence. And, because with Black Lives Matter, black people painted as being victims, specifically black men, were painted as being victims who were shot down unjustly by police and they never hurt a soul. And so that's when I really started to see them really react and make their own pages exposing black people. But they just didn't seem bothered by a lot of these people getting online and wanting to fuss about white supremacy all day and calling white people names, cave beasts and cracker. They just went on with their merry lives. And look at how a lot of them they're still doing well. Them getting online and calling these people names did not stop these folks from making their money. It's still not stopping no white supremacy, if that's what they want to call it. It hasn't stopped anything. But if anybody that is hurt, it has hurt the people who continue to foolishly, black people who listen to this, who foolishly donate their money towards all these schools, donate their money to these Patreons, donate their money to these PayPals. I see it a lot. These conscious folks get online, and I'm talking about the new popular ones that are young and seem to know a lot. And people think they're separate from the brother police, but they're really not that much different. Still taking folk money. They want to get online, talk about spiritual things, and then talk about white people and how you're supposed to stay away from. But people who are hurt the most are not the people who they're fussing about. White people are not hurt. It's the folks who are giving away their money. It's the people who are giving their folks. Those are the ones who are hurt. That's why I say this is a post I saw and I decided to speak on it. The way to win with toxic people is not to play them, because misery loves company. And so when people are miserable and they decide to get online and fuss, you never convince them. They will never stop doing what they're doing, because that type of spirit needs company, it needs your attention. Okay, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with defending yourself when it's time to defend yourself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying be some kind of doormat. But it gets to a point where when your life is probably better than theirs, and they want to get online and fuss about something you're doing, but then the evidence shows that what you're doing, it yields more positive results than whatever they're doing. And so I want to get into this trend of, there seems to be a trend going on of hopping on black women who decide to date interracially. I mean, there's some kind of internet trend going on, making big money. It's a big money thing going on. So now you're not going to get them to shut up unless the paychecks. The only way they're going to stop talking about this is when the paychecks stop. Okay. And so that's what I want to talk about this. The same way white people are unbothered, because white people were unbothered for a long time until this Black Lives Matter stuff came about. You know, um, but for the most part, the same way white people were unbothered with all these race hustlers that want to get online and fuss about white supremacy and white people. It's the same thing with Black women who decide to get into these interracial relationships, right? You can look at the evidence and see that a lot of them are living good lives despite some of the ones that, end up getting into abusive relationships or, in domestic violence situations where it might end in murder. Aside from those situations, which they are few and far between compared to the Black women who have been abused by the people who look like them. Okay. So, and the thing about it, these ladies can talk about how Black women are killed by white men all they want to, but the news, who has far more viewers, they put Chicago on television all the time. They talk about the inner cities. The CDC has spoken about Black women in domestic violence. Most of the time, the highest murder, and then most of the time it's by their partners. Okay. And I think, what was it? It's The Guardian. It was some kind of network on YouTube, which talked about, the statistics of a lot of gay men and how the HIV statistics are high. So here's the thing. Where I'm going with this is that it's no matter how many times these ladies try to put that type of information out there, the only people they're trying to fool are Black women. Black women are the only ones fooled, because Black men are not even fooled by that. Black men are not even fooled. The only people who are fooled are Black women. Okay, white people are not fooled, because they even talked about this. ABC has talked about the pickings of Black women are slim when they only want to date within their race, especially just sticking to a Black American man, looking at the numbers alone. If this was on ABC, and then I think I saw where NX put up a video that RT did. It's a YouTube channel called RT or something, and they talked about Black women and the chances of them being with a Black American man. Okay. And so, and that's another thing, Black women are not responsible for getting no passports and flying out to meet somebody of color just so she can just stay with somebody who's dark skinned. She don't have to be responsible for doing that. But what I'm saying is that regardless of what these ladies do, everybody sees the truth. Everybody sees that, and the statistics have been out there, but everybody sees that Black women who are with non-Black men, specifically white men, it says they are 92% less likely to end in divorce. I think it was something like 90-something% less likely to end in the divorce, but the Black man with the white woman are 200% more likely to end in divorce. So that is even higher than a Black man with a Black woman. The Black man and the white woman has the worst relationship, according to those things. So what I'm saying is that, going back to the title, is the way to win with toxic people is not to play the game with them, because nobody is fooling. The only people that are trying to fool are Black women. And a lot of these women who are doing this now did not feel like that before. I know one in particular, I was subscribed to her about 4 years ago, and she used to say that she didn't date interracial. She herself did not date non-Black men, but she understood why other Black women were doing it because of what she had to choose from. So she basically understood. So now she's getting on this whole thing about, Black women and calling Black women bed witches who date interracially. When now she's doing it because I'm not sure what's in it for her. But when I first started listening to her on YouTube about 4 years ago, she wasn't talking like that. So something else has changed her mind. Okay. And I noticed she didn't start talking like that about Black women until she got on Black men's platforms. Okay. That's when she started dogging out Black women in interracial relationships, not before. Okay, so it was something else in it for them, and you can't stop them from what they're doing because they have other reasons, an agenda for doing what they do. Okay, but look at their lives. Okay, just like fussing about white supremacy don't stop white people from thriving, the white people who do thrive, because we know with some who struggle. Complaining about Black women who were in interracial relationships don't stop their happiness, okay? Look at Serena Williams and Alex. Did she divorce him because Black people want to call her names? No. Look at Eve and Maximilian. Look at all these other interracial relationships. Look at these people on YouTube. There's so many vlogs with Black women and white men from all over the world. And look at their lives. And you just will not see married Black couples like that at that magnitude on YouTube. Okay, you'll see them in relationships and boyfriend, girlfriend, but not married. Okay, they'll be in a relationship for 20 years. So what I'm saying is that nobody's fooled. And, you know, the best way to win against these people is continue to show them the numbers. And what I mean by showing them the numbers is that, you know, being successful in whatever you do. Okay, a lot of these interracial relationships between Black women and non-Black men continue to be more successful than obviously when she dates within her own race. Okay, and even also the children, because a lot, especially with the sons, because it's a huge complaint about how the sons turned out, and they always want to say who raised them, but you know, well, the Black woman seemed to raise her sons good when she's in a relationship with a non-Black man. Why is it that she can raise this son good when she's in a relationship with a non-Black man versus having the Black man's son? Listen to how I said it. It's because most often these non-Black men stick around and get married and they help take care of their children. Other times, Black women are left alone to deal with the Black son in these type of cultural conditions, and she's left to try to raise that. When a Black woman have a child with a lot of these non-Black men, they're in suburban neighborhoods, they can afford to send their sons to different type of schools, they can afford them different type of opportunities that a lot of Black kids in inner cities just don't get, who are raised by single mothers. So anyway, everybody can see that as well. And I'm just going to end this with saying the best way to win with toxic people is not to play the game. That's supposed to somebody left. And I just said, don't play the game. And with that being said, I'll talk to you soon.